Well, the 30-day habit tracking challenge is about halfway done, and there's already been some big surprises. Here's the first thing. Honestly, this hasn't been as motivating as I hoped it would be. There are many days where it feels like a chore. A lot of nights I'm reaching the end of the night and I am forcing myself to do things just so that I can check them off a list. Now, is that bad? No, not really. I mean, it's entirely possible that simply doing things for the sake of logging them might be an effective way to build that base, to begin to establish those habits. That could be one of these things where it's a learn to like it sort of situation. I'm not discounting the value of that. At the same time, I don't really find myself excited about doing these tasks. I know they're good for me. I know they'll benefit me. But I'm still early enough in there where a lot of times making the changes just feels like work. Still though, I'm doing pretty okay. I'm sitting at about an 80% more or less of getting things done, at least according to the statistics that the apps are providing. That's a heck of a lot better than nothing. I would love for that to be higher, but with everything going on right now, I think that this is a decent start to this challenge, and I'm going to accept it and take it for what it is. So one of the things that I wanted to look into is, are the apps helping? The short answer, yes, they're helping. The longer answer, it's complicated. You see, on the one hand, I'm very motivated by having on the home screen of my phone the widgets with those habits there, the reminders to do them. Seeing them is helping me remember. Is it motivating me? That's another question. The act of tracking yet doesn't feel rewarding or motivating. That's certainly one of the things that I was hoping and that I was looking for. I haven't seen it yet, but again, it's only been a couple of weeks. The data that's presented hasn't been motivating either, and I suspect that at least in part of that is because 2 weeks isn't enough time to accumulate useful statistics. I don't find myself wanting to go in and see because honestly, after only a couple of weeks, I sort of feel like how well I've done, what days I've been good, and what days haven't been good. So, like I said, it's complicated. I haven't found using the apps to be inspiring. I haven't found it to be motivating. They are acting as a reminder, which is very useful, but it hasn't been something that's really driving me to get things done, and I'm not feeling any sort of reward when I do go in and mark these things as being accomplished. So what about the apps themselves? How are they stacking up? And 2 weeks in, are there any clear winners or losers? Surprisingly to me, this early in, there absolutely is at least a definitive loser. So let's tackle kind of the three main aspects I see of each app as they stand. First is the widget. Second, the main screen of the app. And third, let's look at the statistics they're surfacing. So let's first look at the widgets. Here's a page I've set up with a widget for each one of the three apps. At the top is Habitify, the second is Strides, and the third is Habit Tracker. Out of the gate, the first thing you're going to notice is that Habitify and Strides can only display 3 habits at a time, whereas Habit Tracker could theoretically show 6 at a time from that main screen. The other big difference between all 3 of these is what happens when you tap on a habit from the widget here. In a perfect world, we should be able to tap on something and that should log it. I shouldn't have to do more. The whole point of having the widget there is for quick and easy interaction. And that's sort of the case. Let's look at a couple. Let's start up here with Habitify. Let's say I want to log the meditate habit for today. I'm going to go ahead and tap that. And you can see it brings me into the app and then wants me to enter in more information to be able to log that. Because that had been set up as a 10-minute a day habit, I'd have to come in and I have to say 10 minutes and then save, and then it gets tracked. If I go back here, then it has now moved that down so it's no longer visible, and I could theoretically see 3 habits that still haven't been logged for the day. Now let's look at meditating with Strides. All I have to do is tap, it completes it, and it goes ahead and moves it off the screen and now shows me 3 additional habits. Finally, let's go ahead and look at Habit Tracker. We tap there, it immediately logs it, it changes the color but then moves it so I can still see it, but I can see that it's been logged. So in terms of the widget, it's pretty clear to me that Habit Tracker is the best. I like being able to see more habits at a time. It's easiest to log from the home screen just tapping the entry in the widget. I find it's the least likely one to suck me accidentally into the app and then want more taps. And the absolute loser is Habitify. Not only is the widget the least quick to be able to log things, I find that it's the most clunky and the most difficult to use. Everything with Habitify feels like it's taking a few extra steps. Next, let's jump into the app's main interface, and then we'll look at the way they present their data. I'm going to switch over to the iPad to do this because it gives us a little bit more real estate to visualize with. If we go ahead and we start with Habitify, we can see pretty much the same thing we're going to see on all of the apps, and that is a list of our applications, and then a date picker that we can go back through and we can use to select previous dates. It's fairly straightforward to log from here. We're just being able to tap any one of these will get us where we need to, but that's really about it. Now, one thing you're going to notice down here at the bottom with the dates in Habitify, we just have the dates. We don't get any additional information from those. Let's see how that compares to some of the other apps. If we open Strides, we see the same thing. Over here is kind of our items to choose from, and here we have the habits themselves. Again, we can log easily just by tapping on those. But at the top, if we look at the dates, you can see a full green circle means I logged all 5 habits. A blue circle that's partially filled is going to tell me how many did I actually do. We can see the 13th, there was only 1. The 16th, that was 3. The 20th, that was 2. And the 22nd, that was 4. So we immediately get a visual context and cue as to how we've done on previous days. If we move to Habit Tracker, we can see a similar thing. We have our 5 habits listed here. They can easily be logged from the main screen. We have our date picker across the top, and we have our additional options down here at the bottom. Just like in Strides, the date picker is going to have a visual indicator of how we've done with previous days, giving us a partially or completely filled circle that gives us a quick glance to know how have we done in the past. One additional thing that Habit Tracker has that neither of the others offer, though, is this little emoji down here in the corner with a plus sign. If we go ahead and tap on this, it gives us an opportunity to quickly track our mood if that's something that we're interested in. It hasn't necessarily been something I've been interested in doing so far, but I like that it's an option. Also, if you're doing your mood tracking, you kind of have a log up here that you can easily get to. So while it's not something that I've been using, it is an additional option that is nice for those who want that. So in terms of the main app interface, when it comes to just opening the app and seeing the list of habits, they're really pretty similar, but there are a few subtle differences. Verdict on the main app home screen itself, I think it's a tie between Strides and Habit Tracker. Strides is a little bit more utilitarian and honestly kind of suits what I'm looking for a little bit more. But Habit Tracker has an excellent interface and does give that option to track mood. That isn't something that I've found myself doing, but it's a nice addition for those who want it. Again, though, the loser is Habitify. While it is very close to the others, one of the big things that it lacks is those dates on the bottom don't have any additional data. So it's not surfacing actionable or useful information as quickly and easily as either of the other two are. The final thing we're going to look at is let's go ahead and let's take a look at how does it present the data. So we're back in Habitify, and if we come over here and we check the Progress tab, we can see our statistics. Now, here's sort of our overall statistics for the last 30 days, how we've done on different days, and then if we want to look at each individual habit, we have to come over here. We don't get an additional page for each habit. We simply get this long scrolling list of our different habits with sort of a heat map or a calendar view, our streak, and then a few other days here. That's it. That's all we've got. If we click on this here, we can see a few other additional numbers of days, but again, since I haven't done that many days, I'm sort of sticking to the 14-day view right now. If we come into Strides, we can see the same thing. We have some reports, but here it's going to give us kind of an overall view and progress for all of them. It can give us trends for each additional day and sort of percentage of completion on our different habits. If we look at the calendar, we can see again, a green day means we did everything, a blue we partially did, and a red means we didn't log anything for that day. If we come in here to the rankings, we can then come and we can see streak rankings for each additional habit. And if we come back to the trends page, we can tap and we can go into individual habits and we can see more information for each individual habit. Finally, let's take a peek at Habit Tracker. The only difference really we see is it just has these icons along the side, so you kind of have to know what those mean. And we can come in here and we can see overall, here's how we've done with our overall completion rate. And then we see little emoji up here at the top that we chose and set for our different habits that then allow us to break down and see quite a bit more data for each one of the individual habits. The different colors are something that we choose when setting it up, so I could have been a little bit more intentional with that. But it gives us a pretty nice overview of how we've been doing overall and really what our progress is in each one of the different habits that we have selected. So again, final verdict. Habit Tracker comes out ahead. There's still some aspects to it that don't really jive with my style, but the way it presents the data is attractive, it's informative, it's useful, and it's adaptable. It gives you that opportunity to dive in and look at things a little deeper, get more information, and it presents a lot of things in a very nice way. I'm going to say Stride's not too far behind, but Habit Tracker clearly has more options and better visualization here. So we're at it. The loser, again, Habitify. The fact that we have a single page that is just a long scrolling list for the different habits. There's no way to isolate one, to drill down into it. There's no way to see kind of multiple things at the same time. Clearly, it's far behind these other two when it comes to how it's presenting the data. Well, folks, again, 2 weeks into this, and it's been interesting to see. From the beginning, I thought Habitify was going to be my favorite. I'm shocked that it's actually the one that not only lost all three of these, but after today, I'm done using it. I'm taking it off my devices because it's so much more cumbersome to use that it just doesn't feel useful anymore. As for the habits themselves, I'm not feeling any difference yet, but I didn't expect to. It's going to take more than 2 weeks of time. From a mental standpoint, yeah, I actually do feel some benefit in just taking action. There's value in that, and I'm not going to deny it or discount it. As for the apps, like I said, Habitify is out. Habit Tracker right now is my favorite, even though there's still a few things I don't love about it. Strides is good as well, and I can see why I stuck with it earlier this year. I'm going to keep using these two now for the next 2 weeks, and then we'll wrap around and we'll see how do things look at that time. Look, one of the whole points of habits is that they're small changes that can make a big difference, but slowly and over time. I don't expect to see dramatic change right now. It's going to come. I truly believe that. Tracking the habits is keeping me more on track. I'm glad I'm doing it. But what about you? Have you been tracking your habits? And have you found it helpful? Subscribe, leave a comment below, and let me know how things are working for you. Let's continue to practice together.